2, 3, 4.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, and on the phone we have...
The Shoulders O'Brien. Hello. How is everybody?
Yeah, so once again, he's playing Hockey Dad, I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm at the rink live, standing in front of my Jeep, looking at the rink.
So kind of looking like a creeper?
Yeah, a little bit. Nothing wrong with that, you know?
Yeah. And, it's kind of cool because, NHL preseason just started a couple nights ago. At least the Flyers. I'm not sure if the Penguins started up or not.
Yeah, they think they started last night.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm not expecting no championship for the Flyers or anything, but we at least have a better penalty kill so far through 2 games.
Well, you guys signed some big contracts with people, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I got to watch Carter Hart a little bit last night. He still seems like the Hart that we had last season.
You know your boy Provanov, right?
What was that?
You know your boy Provanov on your team, right?
Oh, yeah. He signed 6 years. I was happy about that, and real cheap they signed him for.
You know where he played his junior hockey, right?
Why don't you tell me? Because you did tell me once before, and I forget.
He played right here where my son is. He came into the rink a couple days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's from the Wilkes-Barre Knights organization, and he played there, I want to say 2010 to 13 or 14.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Do they have any of his, junior jerseys or anything like that hanging up?
They have his Philadelphia jersey hanging up.
Do they? That's pretty cool. Did he show up to talk to the kids or just kind of stop in and say hi?
Well, he came in here to talk to Alex, the coach that he had, and skate around, and they, did some stuff.
I'll tell you what, though. I am happy they signed him. I actually think he's a little bit better defenseman than Gostisbehere, even though I do like Ghost. But it's nice to have him for 6 more years, and we also re-signed Konechny too.
Yeah, you're speaking Greek to me. It's the Flyers. I don't think anybody cares.
I do, because I still have that hope and wish that the NHL is not going to get away from the fights and the hard hits and everything. That's what Konechny, to me, also brings on top of his offense.
Yeah.
But since, I don't want to bore you about the Flyers, I'm sure most of our fans are Flyers fans.
Well, sure. If they can comment, then we'll talk about them more.
So, but other than that, how's your week been?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Started off kind of shitty, but it's getting better now, so it's almost the weekend.
Good.
So we're just gonna kind of just jump right into the show here. There's actually a couple of good heartwarming stories that happened this past week, and one of the first ones that I want to start off with was about the 4th grade little boy that was getting bullied because of a Tennessee T-shirt.
Right. Yeah. I saw that he made the U T-shirt.
Yeah.
And bullied, yeah.
And it was pretty cool that for how crappy Tennessee is, the football team, just to still be able to root for them and everything like that, but also,
one Peyton Manning did come from that school,
and that was the last time they were really any good. I really can't think of a good team after he left.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Vince Young went there, didn't he?
No, he went to Texas, you dumb goofball.
Yeah, a T is a T.
Oh, my God. And there you have it, fans.
It's been that kind of week for me. But kudos to the college itself. That was his 4th grade teacher that got the ball rolling kind of with this T-shirt thing. When she found out about the kid being bullied and stuff like that, she tweeted to the Tennessee Volunteers and they ended up giving him a 4-year scholarship for a year 2032.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a nice story, so they should have, because then they designed his T-shirt and been selling it like wild cakes, and I'm sure he's not getting any of that, profit. So I'm glad they did that.
But yeah, no,
It's
yeah,
a good story. I get it. I mean, I'm proud that they did that. It's a good inspiration for mankind, and it's a good thing. Just I hope it put some awareness out there for bullying. If you're making a kid really feel that bad, then you got some issues.
Yeah, and thankfully, the teacher was there to, like I said, to help, to step in and kind of probably console him as well as this get this going. And if our fans wanted to help the cause and buy this shirt, you could actually go onto the Tennessee's website, the Vols shop, I guess they call it, and purchase the huh?
I got a random guest here at the rink that wants to come on the air.
Okay.
So, hey, sir, what's your name?
Corey Hansen.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Enjoying the hockey dad life like myself, huh?
Living the dream.
Well, welcome. You're live on Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, I know you're a Redskins fan, so...
Listen, we're used to letdowns. So, going on the season 0-2, it's not surprising to me.
Right, I get it. But, it doesn't look too bad. Case Keenum's looking good.
Yeah, here and there. He does. Actually, his numbers aren't bad.
Right.
The defense just isn't holding like I thought they would this year.
Right, right. So what do you think? We'll jump into some topics here. I'll throw some at you real quick. The listeners are going to be confused, but we dropped Antonio Brown today over the sexual assault scandal. What do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm not shocked. I mean, I was shocked they hung on to him through all the nonsense of the past 2 years with him. But
yeah,
they still, with Colin Kaepernick stood by his side, and I don't think he's any better for the wearer.
Well, that's just a political campaign. That's all
right.
It is.
Yeah.
They're trying to save face.
But here's my thing with this, and we said this on the last show. We won't try to hold you up too long, but it bothers me that he's made these questions, and we said we don't condone rape and things like that. But she has not yet to file an actual police report.
Yeah, if there's no criminal charges, it's just.
So then why is not Nike get the drop from them? There is no criminal charges.
It's true.
And
so here in America,
Shoulders. I don't know if you know, but the DA, 2 of the accounts, they said that the way I took it was the statute of limitations ran out.
There you go.
Well, yeah. So there won't be criminal charges in that case then. So
my point is, Dobb and his endorsement shouldn't be touched.
I agree with you.
So that's where my problem lays. And I said, if she comes out known to be lying, you're taking all the power away from true victims.
Yeah.
And making a mockery out of it. So that's
definitely. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. So I personally don't like Antonio Brown, but he's a good player. And
right. I'm not, it's not a personal thing for me, but I'm going to say if you're going to call it one way with Goodell and the way he is, right, you can't pick and choose on how you want to handle things.
You're exactly right.
I'm looking for equality here. I can't stand him as a human being.
Now, the question to you is, does anyone sign Kaepernick with all these quarterback troubles this year?
No, I don't see it at all.
You don't see it happening?
You do?
I don't know.
Eli's available now.
There's a lot of quarterbacks out this year. So.
At the rate all these teams are going with quarterbacks, it's possible.
It's possible to see him back in a uniform. I agree.
I don't know. I think that would throw a big uproar. I think he did his time and deservingly well. I think he's a clown. I've said it before. So
the one thing I did see that was kind of funny was with Big Ben going down, and we'll talk about Big Ben later in the show. But with him going down, what a big FU the Steelers could throw at the Patriots and the league by signing Kaepernick.
I don't know. Is he really that good, though? What has he done besides the one Super Bowl? They totally tailored the game around him, and it was something new.
Yeah.
He's done nothing. That's why he's not getting picked up. It's not just the political bullshit. I don't think he has any skill worth playing for.
He's not a great quarterback. I'm sure. I mean, he's better than most third strings. He's better than probably half of the backups. But if the Steelers were to sign him, it would be more to...
Well, there again. So if you're an owner, are you worth all the bullshit to have somebody that's only better than half your backups?
Probably not. If you're on your third string quarterback because of injuries, then...
If you look on the business end, Nike's sales actually went up since they signed him onto the political campaign that they signed him on.
Yeah.
I want to see stats. They say that. They
said they went up. Their market share went up in the stock market. So, maybe the Steelers will go up a notch. You never know.
True, but I don't think the Steelers, especially with the military following they have and the military being so pissed off at them, I don't think the Steelers organization would be an organization that would sign them.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. It's just me. You know?
Yeah.
But
it wouldn't shock me if you see him in a uniform in the next couple weeks, though.
You got anything else for this fine lad?
I think the Redskins were one of the teams that were looking at Jalen Ramsey. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, well, any guy that puts himself above a team, I'm not too keen on. You know, I'm a team first guy, so you know him saying, "Oh, I want out here because we're not winning." That's just a bunch of BS. So,
Yeah.
Now, of course, he's a baller. He's a player.
Oh yeah.
Right, but the Eagles are offering a first and a third and Sidney Jones for it.
But to me, he's a guy to come in and break your locker room up, and break chemistry up, and that's a cancer.
That's what I'm feeling.
So, but on the other hand, the Redskins are 0-2. How much farther can they go? So maybe it'd be a good.
Listen, you might be 0-2, but even your 0-2 team, I think, is better than the 0-2 Giants.
I will agree with you. Yeah, I think we'll finish ahead of the Giants. But listen, I said from the get-go, I'm a Redskins fan. I'm used to mediocre. We'll be 8-8 somewhere around there by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Just another year for the Redskins.
Hey, they're one of the oldest franchises. I was watching the history of the NFL and the teams changing and stuff. So.
Yeah, they are one of the oldest. They played in 5 Super Bowls, but that's all in the past.
So you were almost the Braves. Well, you were the Braves for a short time, but then the owner changes to the Redskins.
We would like to see another one, but I don't see it happen as long as Dan Snyder's the owner.
Yeah, he's too busy playing Madden football with a real life team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to hold them up too
Anytime.
long. I want to ask you this, Jimbo. Here in Northeast Pennsylvania and big parts of Pennsylvania, if you really want some ice and quality ice, where would you go?
My fridge. I would say probably Bayo's Ice.
Where would you go?
I would buy Bayo's Ice.
Bayo's Ice?
Yeah.
Right, so they're pretty good ice company, huh?
Yeah, that's a pretty solid company right there. They make a great product.
I mean, I personally buy Bayo's Ice myself.
Oh, that's because warm beer sucks.
Right, that's right. One beer does suck.
So,
All right, sir. All right. You heard it, folks. Bayo's Ice.
Which is right up the street from me, too.
Right.
So...
Sorry about that, listeners, but sometimes when you're out at the rink and you get these live interviews, I gotta roll with it. So.
Well, hey, we like to be spontaneous.
That's right.
That hurt my head trying to say that word.
Don't try to spell it, for good Lord.
So kind of getting back to this Tennessee story, another good story that came out, and I don't know if you saw this, Shoulders, last Saturday, college football. I believe it was the Georgia Bulldogs played, I forget the team that they played, but they were at home at Georgia, and the team that was coming in, the head coach, his wife unfortunately passed away 2 months ago from cancer. And a sign of support that Georgia and their school body did was they did a pink out for the whole stadium. Did you see that?
No, I did not. But that's another great thing for humanity, and I'm starting to glad to see that we're turning the corner in this world, it seems, and we're starting to try to come together. So
yeah,
my absolute heartfelt late condolences to the coach.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine going through that. And cancer, especially among women, is women are our world. So
yeah,
I'm all about it.
And to top it off, it wasn't just like 10, 15 people, fans that wore the pink. And I'm not making fun of this, but the whole stadium looked like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. It was pure pink. It was
those are two organizations that are classy and have classy fans, and they did the right thing. I love it.
Yeah. And then the last story that I just saw right before we came on the show here was the Iowa game this past weekend. The game day, ESPN. You know how you always see those silly signs from the fans or whatever? Well, one fan wrote up a sign that said something like, "Need more Busch Light replenished. Venmo me the money," and gave his Venmo handle or however you would send the money.
Right.
And people actually start sending him beer money.
Oh, Jesus.
The funny part, yeah, maybe we'll try that. Do that for the show.
The Stay Tuned Sports Podcast needs to be replenished.
Yeah.
We We will set up an account, and we will do better and more interviews, and I will travel more if we can get some funds together.
There you go. We need travel fund money.
We should do more live interviews and do live shows.
Yeah. So, like I said, people start sending money in, started, $5, 10. Before you know it, he was up to $50,000 people gave him money. And the kid, who was a 22-year-old, said, obviously, I can't drink all this. I want to donate it. And he ended up donating it to the rival school. So it must have been, it was Iowa versus Iowa State. That's what it was.
Right.
He was an Iowa State fan. And he donated the money to Iowa's the football team. I guess they have the Children Cancer Hospital right there on the field. And at the end of the first quarter of every home game, they always turn to the hospital as fans, players, and they wave to the kids.
Right.
Well, Busch Light caught wind of this and said they're going to match whatever he donates.
That's awesome. Good job.
Then, on top of that, Venmo turns around and said, we're in too.
Nice.
So just a stupid little sign raised $150,000 for the kids at this hospital.
Well, I'm going to a sporting event. I'm going to put a sign up, and I'm going to say, help me pay off my student loans.
But,
and then I'll donate half of it to a cancer charity, and I'll use the other half to pay off my loans so I can stop eating ramen noodles.
But like you said, it's nice to see with all the crap that goes on in this world, we still get to see a little bit of come together and joyful people doing stuff like this.
Well, I definitely I love it, and I challenge our listeners to go out there and pay it forward. We need to start being kinder to one another and start looking out for us as a humanity.
Yeah,
and, it's a good thing, man. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
So. Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. They come here for the drama of sports, so
well,
what do you got for us there, big guy?
Well, you said about drama in sports, so we didn't talk Notre Dame last week, but we got a big game this Saturday, Notre Dame versus Georgia on CBS at 8 p.m.
And Georgia looks good.
They do, and you know what? We're a 14.5-point underdog, and I'm surprised by that.
I'm going to go and say, as much as I'm a fan, I am not.
I'm not surprised that we're an underdog. I'm surprised by the wide margin.
Well, Georgia's looking and predicted to win it all this year.
Yeah.
So, I can't say right now that the way the Irish looked, they almost had a preseason rust because they're not playing to their full potential. So, until I can see that, and we'll see how we match up. Like I said, I'm a diehard Irish fan, but I'm just a realist, and I'm going to keep it real with our listeners. And I can see it being that high. I really can.
Yeah. And
I'm not saying the Irish ain't good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Georgia is a very good program this year. So,
and see, the reason why I'm surprised at it is because offensively, surprisingly, points wise, we're averaging 50 points a game. They're averaging like 51 or 52. Defensively, it's only like a 3 or 4 point swing difference. Yardage wise, same thing.
But we didn't really have. And I'm not trying to knock other schools, but our teams this year that we've played so far have not been top 15 teams.
And I thought that too. So I looked at Georgia, and Georgia's the same way. They really haven't played a Stanford or Clemson, or it's the same. It was New Mexico. Like I know we played New Mexico, but it's the same teams that we played. So maybe obviously the bookies know more than we do.
Well, obviously.
But I do expect a couple brawls breaking out in this game.
Where is it going to be, home or away?
It is. I want to say it's in Georgia because our past 2 games were at home.
So that should be. Do they still play the Superdome?
I believe so.
Okay. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough battle. I really do. I mean, I'm as a fan, I'm just going to be a realist, and I think Georgia wins it.
Yeah.
So I would like to see us win, and I would also like to see us keep it close to a 3 to 7 point only.
Yeah.
Especially with that spread. I would like to see that. And that would tell me that we do have a chance, and I think it would regroup us. But it'll be a good challenge. I'm excited. It's a good game to watch, so I can't complain.
Yeah. See, I think and you know this from prior years with Notre Dame. If we get one loss, we're done with the playoffs. There's no way we're making it because everybody's, oh, you don't play a conference championship game type shit.
Well, I get that. I understand what they're saying, but I think also sometimes our schedule is weak. And it's, that's just the way the formula is for college, for the FBS. So it's tough. It's tough beating that independence, and we'll see how it goes. I don't totally count them out. There's some other big games later in the year. I know we definitely play USC and stuff like that. We'll see,
I will not be surprised if we shock the world and win this game, though. If we do win, it's going to be only by 3 points. So we're not going to blow them out. Right. But it's definitely going to be a boxing match between these two. That.
Well, I guess we'll see,
Yep.
Go.
So, since that's the college talk there, we're not doing any college football picks this week because there's a lot of NFL talk that we want to get into now. And this one here, especially with the question I'm going to ask Shoulders, may start a huge debate between me and him. Eli Manning is benched in favor of Daniel Jones.
Right. I think it's a statement, but let me go off on what my opinion is from when I first heard it. I think it's New York Giants trying to save face with their fans, and we all knew this was going to come. I don't think necessarily their losses came at Eli. He didn't look terrible. He's a pocket passer, and everybody's going away from that right now, but he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's not a loser.
No.
So he has a no trade clause, but it's at his discretion. I like to see him trade him to a team and let him still play. I don't think Giants fans are going to be as happy as they think when Daniel Jones steps in, because he's going to have a learning curve, and he hasn't played a regular season game, and we all know it's 100 times faster than a season game. So we'll see. I mean, I wish Daniel Jones the best, and I hope he succeeds, because I definitely think he was the better pick over Haskins, in my opinion.
Yeah, that part I do agree with you.
But when looking at the situation, and I talked to a Giants fan today who was totally against them, and I'm like, that's like telling me if Wentz won 2 Super Bowls, I don't care how long he plays and does anything. He won his 2 Super Bowls. How many people can you say that? Not only that, but he beat the GOAT.
Yeah.
That everybody self-proclaims Tom Brady. And I know it's a team sport, but he did have some great plays, and he did a lot for that organization. And to tell him he's starting and the beginning of the season for Shermer to be like, oh, well, no matter what he's playing, we're giving him a full season and then do this, I just think it's disrespectful. And I expect nothing less from the Giants.
That I was surprised, especially the comment that Eli made that it's been tough for him to get used to this new role, especially now that he has to learn how to be on the scout team.
Right.
So here is.
Not right. And the sad part is he had a big hand in the preparation for Jones.
Yeah.
And Jones came out and said that. He's been nothing but a class act and helped him thrive. And I know there's a changing of the guard, but I just think it was wrong this season. They should have gave him to at least midseason, and then if they were that bad, pulled the plug and said, well, this is why we tried.
Yeah.
But 2 games, and they didn't play total schlubs. I mean,
no.
They predicted they played the Super Bowl champions apparently. So I mean,
so,
I don't get it.
Let me ask you this question though, because this has been floating around the internet as well. So with Eli's last loss, he's actually a 500 career quarterback.
Right, I heard that. But look at all the shit teams he's had and the shit he's endured.
Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback?
How could you say he's not?
And see, half the people.
All of his other stats are good.
Yeah.
His win percentage, I don't give a damn about. What did he do? He won 2 Super Bowls.
Exactly. And
he beat the GOAT for 2 of them.
Yeah. And,
how can you say he's not? There's other people that are in the Hall of Fame. You're going to tell me he's worse than the worst player in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Why this is a debate is beyond me. And I watched a couple different talk shows, even from Stephen A. and his big mouth.
Yeah.
And he even said, even if it's not first ballot Hall of Fame, how is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
So I don't understand this talk. I don't get it.
Do you think he is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Depends on how he finishes his career. I see it. Yeah, I would give it to him. Again, he won 2 Super Bowls. His brother Peyton didn't do that.
Yeah.
So, and Peyton, everybody thought was 150,000 times better.
Yeah.
And I hate the Giants, and I've always disliked Eli because he was Giant. But I'm gonna call the kettle black here and say, absolutely.
Little, kind of funny stat. This will be my last, time I'll take a shot at Eli. What NFL team, a little trivia for you, Shoulders, what NFL team holds the most interceptions from Eli?
Could it be the Philadelphia Eagles?
Ding, 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 ding.
What do I win? Do I get a t-shirt?
Yes. When you go home, it'll be in the dryer or somewhere, wherever you left your last one.
Hey, I'll take it.
But yeah.
But that's a division rival, of course, and we had some great defenses.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then, and then we'll get off this topic, but Donovan McNabb will be up for the Hall of Fame this year.
Yes.
First ballot Hall of Fame?
I've always said I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I do believe he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay, so then how the hell could we say Eli's not?
No, I'm actually I'm actually surprised.
We as a society are sitting there talking this poop on him. That's my biggest point right there. I can go on with other quarterbacks that are in. Do you know what I mean? And he also played in a time where he wasn't protected as much as Brady.
Yeah.
So I just don't get people's talk, man. I don't.
And in an era where, fans argue with each other about, who's the better quarterback for their teams, what's the one question everybody always brings up? How many rings you got?
Right.
So here's a guy, okay, he's a 500 quarterback. He's got 2 rings.
But let's take these last 3-4 seasons where they've been absolute shit off his record, and let's see what his record would be then. I guarantee he's not no 500 quarterback.
Well, yeah, you figure last year they were...
The guy 6th round, helps your franchise, gets a worse record, trying to rebuild it and stay with you.
Yeah.
And this is what we deal with?
Yeah.
And then here's my point. You name one receiver on his team right now this year that's worth of anything.
They're all suspended or hurt.
Right, but even when they're not, Sterling Shepard, is he really that good?
He always struck me as like a number 2 guy, but they don't have a legitimate number 1 guy.
And Golden Tate will come back, and that would help.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get to play with them. But even him, the last 3 seasons, he only eclipsed 1,000 yards twice.
Yeah.
With us only 900, and he didn't in the 1,000-yard seasons. He didn't eclipse more than 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So where's this elite receiver that they have? Who's their tight end?
Evan Ingram, but he's more of an up-and-comer tight end.
Right. So, again, my point is he doesn't have an Ertz. He doesn't have a Jimmy Graham. It's been how many years now? That defense has been dismantled. Their secondaries look like shit. So how is everybody picking on this poor guy?
Because he's supposed to be the face of the franchise, and that I'd never agreed with. A quarterback, the face of your franchise should not always be your quarterback. It should be the best player on your team.
I think he was the face of the franchise from the time he was drafted into the league until the last maybe 3 to 4 seasons ago. Now Saquon Barkley, he came on and he's the face because he's young, he's fresh, and he's talented.
Yeah.
But again, nobody's talking about this offensive line who is ranked mid-league and Eli getting beat up.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
If you even actually watch those games for how talented Barkley is, the runs that he makes 5, 6, 7 yards, he has to work for. He's bouncing around like a pinball just to try and find holes.
Right, and I like to see him on a team with an offensive line that's amazing. This guy's going to rush 2,200 and break the record. But I'm just saying, man, I don't get it, and I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I don't know.
So, also, last Sunday there was some more drama with the New Orleans Saints.
Lovely.
Now,
I saw the play. Again, the same refs screwed the team again.
Yeah.
And it's protocol for a play like that to let it go live, not blow it dead, and then reverse it if it wasn't really a fumble.
Yeah.
And on the replay, it's clear.
Oh, yeah.
So why did they follow protocol again? And again, here's me smashing the NFL. Why is nothing done to these refs when they didn't follow a policy? The policy and protocol was if there's a fumble with the quarterback and we don't know if it's a forward pass or not, let the play go until it's dead. Then either team can challenge, and that's the precedent.
Well, and here's the thing, though. I just don't understand why what I'm about to say is not in the rules. Okay, you challenge the play. You see the fumble. The Saints pick it up. You see no one is around him or even going to probably catch him to tackle him. Why can't you just give him the touchdown then?
Right. Well, because they say, well, we blew the whistle dead people and chase them the same way and blah, 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 blah. I don't agree with it either, man. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I don't even want to get to that level with it because we shouldn't have to talk about that because they didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
So why is that officiating crew still doing anything?
I'll be curious to see if over the next couple weeks maybe they get demoted down to water boy judge or something.
Listen, I'll be more than happy to become a referee in the NFL for half their salary.
Yeah, and most of them are lawyers anyway, so they don't even need the job.
Yeah, well, that's another story. But I don't get it, man. They got screwed again, and what can they do? Nothing. New Orleans fans got to eat it, and it's another bad taste in their mouth. And then they want us to believe in this league. I don't get it.
Yeah. I like how Cameron Jordan, their defensive end, called the refs Foot Locker refs.
Right.
When I read that quote, I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
I agree.
How about, since we're talking about rules here and everything, how about the new rule with quarterbacks? And we kind of got screwed in a way with Carson Wentz last Sunday night. I believe it was a 2-point play, and he was diving in and his knee touched the ground before anybody else touched him, and he was blown as being down.
Which it used to be that if you dive forward, you're not giving yourself up, and if you dive feet first, you're giving yourself up.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're giving yourself up no matter which way you dive. I call it absolute bull poop.
That one, yeah. I just don't understand. I mean, again, no one touched him. Yeah, granted, his knee touched. Even, Doug Peterson laughed about it a little bit and said, well, we just got to teach him to keep his legs up in the air a little bit longer. Like, right. Come on.
Well, that was a turning point. That could have made a big difference, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there was also on the winning play to Julio Jones, and I didn't see it as clearly as I thought I did, too, but then my buddy sent a picture. There's a clear block in the back.
Clear. The next day I saw that, and, I mean, he was basically hugging him, pulling his pants down and everything.
Well, I have a picture I could send you later. A buddy of mine got so pissed off. Well, Allentown.
Yeah.
Show. He sent me the picture, and he stopped it on his TiVo, and he literally has his elbows tucked in and has two hands in the middle of his back pushing him. So, again, these refs, I mean, I don't get it. You can challenge what you want to challenge, but why didn't we challenge it then? We should have challenged pass interference.
Yeah.
So, again, I know it's live, and I understand they're refs, but when you have protocol, you should follow it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, all right, well, what are you going to do,
So, another week of serious injuries. We touched on a little bit earlier about Big Ben.
Right.
Who do you think was a bigger loss, Big Ben or Drew Brees?
Drew Brees, by far.
Do you think Teddy Bridgewater could keep that ship afloat until he comes back?
Listen, I'm a high believer in Teddy Bridgewater, but he looked like shit for that game.
Did he?
Now let them game plan and work around him. My answer would have to come after watching him perform this week.
Yeah.
I can't give a fair assessment to Teddy because I like Teddy, but he didn't look good coming in, and I don't know if it was nerves or what, but now let them game plan and be ready for him coming in. Let me see how he does. If he goes back to the Teddy Bridgewater of Minnesota, absolutely he can hold it down.
And that's the thing. Breeze is going to be out, I think I saw 4 to 6 weeks.
Right, and he's getting his ligament repaired in his thumb.
Yeah.
And to me, I still don't see how it's only 4 to 6 weeks. Because you got to repair it, it's got to heal, then you got to strengthen and rehab it.
Yes, maybe that's why he'll probably be more than 6 weeks.
It's his thumb on his throwing hand.
Yeah.
And to grip a ball, you need your thumb.
Yeah.
That's what makes us above other species is that thumb.
But let's just say that he comes back after 6 weeks and is healthy. I think really, honestly, if the Saints could go even 500, 3-3, they're in good shape having Breeze come back at the right time.
Right. If he can come back in and perform like Drew Brees then and not be hindered by the injury, sure.
Now, I just think about this. What happens if the next 6 weeks they go 6-0? Do you give Breeze an extra week or two and let Bridgewater keep playing?
Absolutely. Why not? I don't see most teams have proven that you can lose your job to injury. I don't want to hear that anymore.
Yeah.
And if he's the hot hand, why would you break the chemistry?
Yeah, that's true. But
that's just not smart, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
And with Bridgewater, I believe this is his last year on his contract. Has something to play for. He has some incentives in his contract. If he plays 50% of the offensive snaps, he gets a couple $1 million, I believe it was.
Right.
And we all remember him having that gruesome knee injury back in Minnesota. For him to almost lose his leg and have his career over, to be back in the spotlight here, I'm pulling for him. I hope he really pulls this off and does go in 6-0.
I bet you can use some of that money. So.
So on top of those two injuries, Djax and Alshon Jeffrey.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey's the calf. He should be playing this week. I don't understand what happened. If it's just a calf strain, is it an Achilles problem? They never come out and say what it really is, which pisses me off.
Yeah.
And the one that baffles me is an abdomen strain for Djax.
Yeah.
What the hell happened? Did somebody punch him in the gut?
Well, and I'm the same with you. I really want to know, because before the game even started, Dallas Goedert went back to the locker room. He supposedly re-aggravated something before the game even started.
Right.
Jeffrey and Jackson were hurt before, like when warm-ups or something. Like, what is our training staff doing with these guys?
Right. And what pisses me off is, and I don't want to say that as an excuse, but I think we could have definitely beat the Falcons if we had our receiving core.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we basically...
Our defense got to step it up again, though. They keep starting slow.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And, we basically had Nelson, I drop everything, Aguilar is back.
He dropped that touchdown pass. Again, I'm at the point now where I just get him off the team.
Yeah. It's back to Aguilar from, 3 years ago?
Right, and I can't even say that he was worried about getting hit. He had a big leap step, and he could have just walked. They said it right on TV. He could have walked to the end zone.
Yeah.
And he drops it. Now, he made the big catch at the end, but what did it do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Wait, you blew it. Like, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. So hopefully they can step it up, or they better sign somebody. So.
Well, here's the two things I'm looking forward to this weekend is, obviously, Wentz was the guy that got us back into that game.
Right.
Wentz basically said, get on my back, let's go.
Right.
Let's see if he's going to earn his $130 million these next week or two, because...
Right, he's going to have to game plan and get on page.
Yeah.
I don't know why Whiteside isn't performing better, why he isn't being used more, and why, in sweet baby Jesus...
Go ahead, say it.
Jordan Howard more.
Thank you.
Power running. That's what we are. We have a great offensive line.
And that sets up everything. That keeps your defense honest with the run and the pass. You're not worried about playing back. Sets up the play action.
Last drive where we took the lead, if we ran more of the clock by running the ball, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
Yeah.
So again, Doug Peterson needs to get his head out his ass and start doing a better game plan.
Yeah. No, and I know you're high on Miles Sanders, and I still think he's going to be a good running back. But this is exactly why I was hoping they slowly brought him into the season.
Yeah, he's got to stop dancing, man. I seen a couple times where he could hit the hole and got 4 yards.
Yeah.
And he dances and only gets 1.
And
he's got to learn as a back that sometimes he has to take what he can get.
Yeah, like
Put his head down, get the 4 or 5 yards, and call it a day.
Yeah.
And we seen it with a couple holes, the way the holes opened, that he could have still got 4 or 5 yards, and he danced around and lost or got only a yard or 2.
Yeah.
And my brother, being a football player and playing at Bucknell, said the same thing.
Yeah.
And he was a running back and quarterback in high school. So, it is what it is. I like Miles a lot, but he's not showing me what I thought he was going to show me, so I'm a little disappointed.
Well, I just wonder if it's one of those, he's still in college thinking mode where, man, every run I did was a home run hit, and that's what he's trying to do here.
Right.
And you can't, like you said, if you got a hole that you could get 4 or 5 yards, get it, because then
being a running back in the NFL, you got to work.
Yeah.
And you're going to have 15 to 20 touches where you're getting 3 to 4 or 5 yards, 2 yards, and grinding, and then your big one pops.
Exactly.
And he's got to understand that. And I know we're running back by committee, but they got to get some more consistency. And Jordan Howard's running like a beast.
Yeah.
And we need a yard or two, and we're throwing halfway down the field. It drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
So
now to take a little step back, you were saying you're a little disappointed with JJ with how he's playing or how he played this last game,
and how they're using him.
Well, they game planned for Jackson and Jeffrey to be in there, and there was a lot of players that even Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz were telling them where to line up, so because they weren't used to playing those spots.
Well, then that's poor preparation. You can't expect everybody to be healthy. You have to prepare for the worst. You're a goddamn NFL team. I don't want to buy it. Whiteside should have been caught up all summer camp and should be put in there. He should be running as receiver 1 and learning the plays. He should be running receiver 2 and learning the plays. Because that's what the backup role is. I don't get it.
But on this, obviously he's behind Aguilar too, so best case, he's the 4th receiver. You only got, 5 days to practice and game plan for the next team for a regular season. You want to get your first string guys as many reps as possible to get them ready for the game. So
you're telling me the second team offense can't go against the first team defense, and that's how they usually prepare. And you can't have him running receiver 1 and 2 routes and learning where he should be?
Maybe 10% of practice, yeah.
I don't know. You have a big field and a lot of players, man. You can run half fields and still get both teams to work properly. I don't buy it.
And we'll see this weekend, and that was the second thing that I'm looking forward to see exactly how he reacts to taking the starting role now, because now he's gonna have a full week of practice of learning these plays and these spots as well.
All I'm gonna say is DK Metcalf in Seattle stepping up. So I don't know.
I would still rather JJ over him.
Well, I understand that, but my point is, you're saying he didn't have that much playing time, and he's picking it up.
Yeah, no.
DJ from Stanford is a smart kid.
Yeah.
So it's not like, he came from a community college, no offense to people.
Yeah.
So he came from a very, very, very prestigious school. So step up and let's go.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. It's still, at the end of the day, you should know and get open, though. I understand not knowing where you stand, but once you get there and you know your route, he's still not making the breaks and the catches.
Yeah.
So I want him to succeed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't. I like Whiteside.
No, I definitely do too. I
just don't want him to turn into an Aguilar.
Yeah, no, he'll catch the ball. He won't drop it.
So,
so I guess we kind of, in a way, previewed this weekend because we got the Lions. Then we have Green Bay next week. Like, as far as these next two...
Thursday game, short week, so they better start healing somebody.
Oh, geez, I forgot. Yeah, next week is the Thursday night game.
So, well, yeah, so, and, we're running short here because I'm at the rink and I'm going to have to go soon. But
Okay.
One other thing I know we wanted to talk about was the possibility of getting Jalen Ramsey. And I know we talked about it with our special guest. Now, he was against it for the Redskins and thinks he'd break up the locker room, but in reality, I wouldn't mind bringing him in. I think he wouldn't be as outspoken at first because he would have to learn things and get used to the Philly way. And, I think he would have been better than that Fitzpatrick that went from the Dolphins to the Steelers.
See, I'm the opposite there. And on top of that, I know you got to get going soon, so I'm going to make a real quick comparison. If we bring Ramsey in, it's that Oakland Raider cornerback that we got a couple years ago that completely flopped for us. I forget the Namdi something.
Oh, Asamoah.
Yeah. Problem is Jalen is a man-to-man coverage corner. We play mostly zone. So we wouldn't be able to really, put him on man-to-man. I mean, maybe once in a while, but I just think he'd
Why not change the game plan and have him locked down? There's so much more options you could do with him, and he's a good football player. I think that comes to coaching and game plan.
So change your whole defense because of one player?
It's not the whole defense. Has the zone been working for us?
Second half of the games, yes.
Okay, has it worked the first game or the first half of the game?
No.
All right, so then there's no reason we can't split half zone, half man. Tim Swartz ain't an idiot.
No.
It's not like he's never played man defense. And stop being so transparent.
Well,
so I also think when the blitz comes, okay, and we're run zone, but we're running zone blitz.
Yeah.
I think it's better to have a lockdown corner like Jalen Ramsey on one of the best receivers then what's been going on?
I mean, the rumor out there, and you said it was first, third, and Sidney Jones. I wouldn't do that trade. If I were to accept this trade, I would put Darby in there instead. I think Darby's garbage. I've always thought he's garbage for us.
Right.
You've known that. That's who
I can agree that. I mean, it's a tough price, but I think it would help the team overall.
Yeah.
And I just think Jalen Ramsey's mouth comes a lot from a lot of frustration where they've had great defense and he's been playing his butt off, and the franchise ain't going anywhere right now. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see a major problem with it. I won't be totally against it. It depends exactly what they give, but we'll see, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, I won't be against it if we win a Super Bowl this year.
Right.
All right, so I guess that's going to be it for us this week.
I apologize to our listeners, but I have to get back in there for the boy, and it's hockey season. We're going to get this better, and we're going to have longer shows like we do. It's just we have a lot to talk about, which is not a bad thing, but it's tough to get everything in.
Yeah. So real quick before we go, head over to Twitter, follow the show at ST Sports Podcast, follow myself at Jimbo ST Sports. Go on Facebook, like and share. Go on YouTube. Subscribe there as well. So that'll be it for this week. This is your good friend Jimbo.
This is Shoulders O'Brien, baby. Be safe.
We're out.